District of Columbia.
Woohoo! We welcome you back to GMA. That was the moment. That was the moment. Deshauna Barber became the brand new Miss USA. And she is now joining us live for her first live interview since winning the crown, becoming the first ever member of the military to take home the title. But before she won, she had what is being called a drop the mic moment about women in the military. Have the audience on its feet. Take a look at this.
We are just as tough as men. As a commander of my unit, I'm powerful. I am dedicated. And it is important that we recognize that gender does not limit us in the United States Army.
Please welcome to GMA, Miss USA! USA! USA!
Thank you.
It's wonderful to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, when you heard your name called and you put on that sash, what are the emotions that you feel?
It was so emotional. It's still very surreal to me right now to be on Good Morning America and have this sash and crown on. So in that moment, I mean, I was next to one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen, Chelsea, Miss Hawaii USA. And I just felt very flattered that they decided that I was the candidate. I was the person that they thought would be the best representation of the Miss Universe organization as Miss USA. So it's surreal.
I hear that you get teary-eyed when you put on the sash.
I do.
You cry a little
they
bit?
were putting it on today right before I came out here, and I'm just, it's amazing. It's amazing.
And it's wonderful because being in the military, we were talking in the commercial break, proud military brat myself.
Absolutely.
The father was in the service, your family in the Army, and you serving. And you're the first military woman to win Miss USA. What stereotypes? Are you breaking it for the military? Are you breaking it for pageants? For both, probably.
I consider myself, yes, to be breaking them for both, because they do have your pageant stereotypes as being an airhead, being uneducated, not having a career, and then on the military side, you have women stereotyped as being unattractive, being very masculine, and I feel like both sides of the spectrum, I'm absolutely breaking the stereotype.
Have you heard from your soldiers in your unit?
Oh, yes.
What are they
were
saying?
all watching.
Really?
And when I got back to my phone, I probably had maybe over 250 text messages that I have not been able to get through. But some of them were my soldiers, so they're very excited for me. My unit is extremely supportive, and it's just been awesome.
And talk about your family. So your father was in special services for 24 years. Met your mom while he was in the military.
Yes.
Your brother, your sister in the military. You joined up at 17.
Yes.
What did they say when you said, you know what, I'm gonna be Miss USA?
I'm going to be Miss USA.
Yeah.
You know, they were a little bit taken back that I even considered pageantry, but they've all been so supportive. And, you know, I committed to the military at 17 by going through the ROTC program at my school, and I commissioned as an officer in 2011. So I'm actually the only officer of all of us. So they give me a hard time about that. They're on the enlisted side. Both my father was Special Forces, and then my mother was on the enlisted side, and brother and sister. So they're like, we will never salute you. They refuse, but, you know, it's just awesome to be able to be an officer as well.
And congratulations on that. That is quite an accomplishment. And you said that when you were in school back in the day that you were bullied.
Yes.
Because I say, don't let the frame fool you. You know, people were saying about how your size, and they gave you a hard time about that?
Yes, they did. I've always had a very small frame. I've always been very slim, even through high school and middle school, and there were a lot of names that were called. You know, I was kind of a late bloomer, so they never let me forget that going through school. But I actually have a lot of high school friends that have actually reached out to me and said congratulations. So it still feels good to know that we have a relationship, even though it was kind of a difficult time in high school.
And it's good for somebody who's being bullied and being told certain things about themselves that maybe one day they too can wear the crown and be Miss USA.
Absolutely.
Well, congratulations again. Can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you so much.
You give your family a hard time about being the officer.
I will. They're watching right now.
All the best.